Dr. S. Tamarai Selvi is working as a professor in the Department of Computer Technology, MIT campus of Anna University, Chennai. She has over 30 years of teaching experience. Grid computing, cloud computing, and e-learning are her areas of interest. She has successfully completed 12 research projects funded by Government of India and Tamil Nadu state government. She has established Center for Advanced Computing Research and Education and acquired 1 patent and has filed for 3 more patents in her research area. She has presented over 110 papers in international conferences and published 45 papers in international journals. She has authored 5 books. The latest book is titled Mastering Cloud Computing, published by Morgan Goffman Publishers, 2013.
Welcome back to the UGC lecture series on cloud computing. Now, you can formally define what is a cloud computing. See, it is a technology that uses the internet and central remote servers to maintain data as well as applications. So, you need the internet facility, you are able to access the remote server, and it is possible to maintain your applications or data easily. And cloud computing allows the customers or consumers and the business people to use applications without installation and access their personal files at any computer with internet access. See, these are all formal definitions. Actually, we are using the cloud computing facilities by so many ways without knowing that we are using cloud computing. Say for example, most of you will be using Gmail. That Gmail is also one of the cloud computing services. It is a cloud service where in your browser just you are login to the Gmail, and once if you log in, you are accessing the mail server and you are able to download your mail or you can just send the mail. So, that is one of the applications through cloud only. Like that you are having plenty of applications. See, Facebook, that is also one of the applications similar to cloud service. You are having some server available, it is possible to share your photos or share your messages or share whatever you want, you put it onto that sharing space. That memory is available in the web. Through internet you are connecting and you are able to share. So, that is the main idea. So, we are having so many social networking software which are coming under only cloud computing principles. So, we are familiar with cloud computing, but we do not know this is cloud computing. Formally now we are defining it. The requirement is minimum internet access through your browser. You do not want anything else. That is the main advantage of cloud computing. So, suppose if you have in-house computing, each system can run limited applications. In your personal computer or laptop, you can have one Linux version and you can install some of the applications. So, only that much you can access. Similarly, you can have distinct resources for distinct applications. Similarly, you need separate infrastructure. See, for running a simple application, PC will be enough. Suppose if you want to run a weather forecasting application, it requires lot of computers, you cannot buy it on your own. So, you can directly make use of some cloud computing infrastructure and you can access the infrastructure through your laptop for solving big end computing or high performance computing also. So, in the cloud computing, you can have your computers placed at home or at your room or at your office. You are having various applications available in the cloud, you are having different platforms available so that you can develop your own application in that platform, or you can have the infrastructure. The infrastructure means the actual computer you want to access. It is possible to create one virtual machine in a remote server and you can access that computer through your laptop or your personal computer. Your computer will not be having that much computing facility, but by creating so many virtual machines in the server, you can access 10 node cluster or 5 node cluster by sitting at your home. So, that is the actual infrastructure we mean. So, we can access any application, you can access any platform. Platform means it is helpful for developing your own application. Say for example, Office, MS Office, you can edit your own PowerPoint presentation. Excel sheet, you can have simple calculations and you can develop it. So, you are having MS Office platform, that is helpful for creating so many applications. You can draw graphs, you can draw charts. So, all those facilities are provided, the platform is available, but what do you want? You want the Windows operating system over which Office should be available, Microsoft Office should be available. So, in that platform you can develop so many applications. So, you should know the difference between applications and platform. Only one application, say AutoCAD application, you can have the AutoCAD software available, just you can have the different applications developed through that one. Similarly, suppose if you are able to get your income certificate, that income certificate can be obtained, birth certificate can be obtained, your pata of the land can be obtained, all those things are small applications. Say you are having Google Map, if you want to locate a particular place, you are searching through Google. In the Google search engine, you are getting the Google Map. Google Map is one such application. So, you are able to get the actual location, similarly the path through which you can traverse to reach the place. So, application means Google Map is an application. Then platform, Google App Engine is a platform in which you can develop so many things. Infrastructure, Amazon is providing lot of virtual machines, so that you can get the virtual machine, you can work in that computer, then you can just pay for the actual computing capacity as well as the memory you are using it. So, cloud computing is making use of all these facilities, so that people are able to get the server access to the remote desktop and you can achieve whatever you want. Now, there is a difference, there are so many differences between grid and cloud. Many people will be having the confusion, what is the meaning of grid computing, what is the meaning of cloud computing, what are the main differences? Even though both are having the same purpose, there are some differences. Actually, grid computing was evolved for only scientific community. The business applications were not much evolved, it was not successful in the business applications. So, the conceptual idea of grid was used in cloud. So, let me explain the difference between grid and cloud. As I already told, grid is resource sharing. High performance computers are used for sharing the computing resources to perform a high performance task. Whereas, in case of cloud, how do we do it? Let us discuss the things. In case of this grid, they have concentrated on European grid, EGEE grid is an European grid. Amazon cloud, example for cloud, they have taken it as Amazon. Now, the target group for grid is scientific community. Mainly this grid computing was used for so many scientific applications. In European countries, in US, everybody developed so many things. Actually, the grid middleware, that is, we are using the grid middleware for performing the grid computing applications. Globus Toolkit, that was one of the popular middleware used by US for scientific applications. For European grid, they got G-Lite. G-Lite is the actual grid middleware used for European countries. Whereas, in cloud, the main target is business. It is meant for so many business applications. When you consider the service of the grid, it is for the batch processing, short lived, that is, the life of the jobs are very less, it is not the continuous application. You want to perform this operation for a particular period. So, it is short lived, the lifetime of the job is very short, and we do it as a batch process. Batch process means a group of jobs are submitted, once the jobs are over, executed, that is all. Whereas, here it is long lived services based on hardware virtualization. continuously it is being used by creating virtual machines in the servers, and you can make use of it for business purpose. Then service level agreement, when you consider, the service level agreement is between the particular grid community and the resource providers, whereas here you are having the global service level agreement. Then the user interface, you are having high level user interfaces developed by the resource providers or by the grid community, whereas the particular cloud is providing so many user interfaces, so that you need not worry, simply you open the browser, click a button, you will be getting the actual interface. And resource side middleware is open source, you can make use of Glite or Apache 2.0. over Apache only, they have also developed GT, whereas the Amazon cloud, here it is proprietary, but we are having some open source cloud middleware like Eucalyptus. Ease of use, ease of deployment, both are heavy in case of grid. Actually, the main failure of the grid computing is because of the difficulty in installing the middleware and how to make use of the middleware. This is a tedious job, even for computer professionals faced lot of difficulties in installing the middleware of the grid, in making use of the middleware of the grid for developing some applications. That is why they call it as ease of use is not so easy, deployment is also not easy, but cloud has actually overcome the difficulty, they made it light, and ease of deployment that depends upon the cloud provider, he only knows how it is deployed. Here open source software were available, but it was heavy. Then resource management, of course, for grid and cloud both are having similar type of resource management, and funding model, that grid was funded by so many government projects, whereas this cloud mostly commercially funded. So, these are the major differences between grid and cloud. So, just we have discussed about different types of computing as well as evolution of cloud computing, and also we have compared grid with cloud also. So, let us have a small break and we can continue later. Welcome back to this cloud computing lecture series. Now, let us see why it is much more important, and I want to give the substantiation of that statement also. See, now you can see the Gartner's top 10 strategic technology trends from 2010 onwards. Why I have taken from 2010? Because cloud computing was given the top priority from 2010 onwards. See, the Gartner's prediction, actually Gartner's prediction means the Gartner is a famous prediction company. They are collecting enormous statistical data, and based on various mathematical principles they are predicting the future. So, future predictions are done by Gartner. Similarly, we are having ODC, Open Data Center, and we are having Horizon Watching, like that there are so many companies which are doing the prediction based on the mathematical principle, whereas Gartner is considered to be one of the top predicting agents. That is why I have considered that Gartner's top 10 strategic technologies, and in 2010 cloud computing was given the top priority, and 2011 also cloud computing was given the top priority, even though other things like advanced analytics, client computing, IT for green, reshaping data center, social computing, security, flash memory, virtualization, mobile application, like that in 2011 mobile applications, second communications and collaboration, video, next generation analytics, social analytics, context aware computing, storage class memory, ubiquitous computing, fabric based infrastructures and computing. These are all 10 strategic technology trends, but in both the years cloud computing is at the top priority. In 12 and 13 also we are having the same cloud computing. In 2012 it is also in the top 10 strategic technology trends, and in 2013 we are having personal cloud, we are having hybrid IT and cloud computing, and we are having so many other related things which are in 2013. So, cloud computing in the past 4 years time, it is always in the top 10 strategic technological trends. That is what I want to insist, and this is the actual Gartner's hype cycle. This is called as hype cycle for emerging technologies. In the 2012, in the year 2012 we got it. Actually, if you see the shape of the curve, any new technology will be just having the hype, it will be having the hype till it reaches the end, then slowly it will be getting reduced, and once if it becomes stable, then gradually it will improve. So, this is the shape of the hype cycle. So, for every technology they are having this hype cycle graph available. You should know, see, this is the technology trigger, right. This is the peak of inflated expectation, this is the actual peak of the inflated expectation, we call it as hype. Then trough of disillusionment, then people will talk about the technology saying that it is useless, there will be so many comments about those new technologies. Then slope of enlightenment, after proving the technology, gradually it will pick up and it will be there. This is the plateau of productivity. Why this graph is given? Some technology will be available for a very short span of time, after certain period automatically it will be dead. If it is not having any proper application, it will not have any more development. So, people have predicted based on this one. If you consider the 2012, here there are so many things, these are all technology triggers, we need not bother about these things. Already I talked about big data, that HTML 5.0, hybrid cloud computing, speech to speech transition, silicon anode batteries, natural language question answering, internet of things, mobile robo, autonomous vehicles, 3D scanners, automatic content recognition. Like that you are having so many things, quantum computing, these are all technology trigger. And peak of inflated expectations, see 3D printing, bring your own device, context that is complex event processing, social analytics, private cloud computing. See, there are lot of things. Similarly, near field communication payment, NFC. NFC similar to that wireless, it is a wireless technology similar to Bluetooth. So, you can make use of the NFC for payment. Suppose if you are crossing the toll gate, you can have the mobile phone which is NFC enabled, like Bluetooth enabled, you can enable it with NFC. Once if you show it within 10 centimeter length, it will recognize your device and the payment can be automatically made. See, it is picking up and many people are working on this NFC. Then internet TV, ITV, see people are talking about the ITV which will be the killer application in the near future, because the movie which is released can be directly released in ITV. Each viewer will be charged for that particular movie and you are getting vast enormous profit out of it. So, ITV is the killer application in the near future. Then audio mining, cloud computing, see it has crossed this technology trigger, it has crossed that inflated expectation and now it is in the trough of disillusionment. Now, you are having in memory analytics, text analytics, so many things. Here gradually it is coming to this part, after which the cloud computing is getting matured. So, this is the actual hype cycle model, actually it is developed by Gartner and they have given different circles, different shapes, that is for less than 2 years, this is for 2 to 5 years, that blue color circle. Then this dark blue is for 5 to 10 years, that is it will be matured over 5 to 10 years time. This is more than 10 years time and this is obsolete before plateau. So, that red round means that technology will not come into picture, that is what they mean it. And This is the hype cycle for cloud computing 2012, that is the Gartner's hype cycle for cloud computing alone. They have drawn this particular hype cycle. So, the technology trigger is for hybrid IT, all those things are based on cloud, cloud bursting, personal cloud, hybrid cloud computing, cloud BPM, business processing, process management, then cloud email, PaaS, platform as a service, all those things, everything is about cloud. So, the cloud computing is having very good opportunity, and that is why people are trying to make use of the cloud computing as the technology for so many commercial applications. So, this is the proof for this particular popularity of the cloud, and as per the predictions earlier, it is also happening. That is why I have highlighted from 2010, 11, 12, in 13 also we are having lot of applications through cloud. Now, we should know what is not cloud computing. See, simply we have seen so many definitions, so many evolution of this computing. So, we got some idea about cloud computing now, but you should know what is not cloud computing. It is not a network computing. Just by networking all those things we are doing computing, it is not like that. It is not outsourcing. Sometimes people will outsource some of the resources and they will do it. Cloud computing is not outsourcing. In both the cases, data or applications are accessible only to the company's employees via company's network, not the entire world through internet. Suppose if you are having the internal networking, only the employers are allowed to access the data and manipulate the things, outsiders are not allowed. So, we are not having this network computing or outsourcing of the things. So, when you consider the different properties, it is user centric. The users will feel ease as well as comfort. They will be feeling very easier to access the cloud services because it is user centric. Task centric, suppose if you want to perform a particular task, for that task particular service will be given. See Gmail, for the mail service you are having Gmail service. So, that is task centric. Then it is powerful, by having one application developed throughout the globe, anybody can access the service. So, that is powerful. It is accessible through internet, you want only internet services. Sometimes it is intelligent also. See, for example, if you have seen some of the searches, Google has developed the intelligent search and the advertisement pages will be given based on the context. What are you searching? Based on the searching keywords, it will also bring the appropriate advertisement at the right end or top end or at the other corner, because they know the user is searching for the information related to this technology. So, who are the contributors in that technology? What are the latest products? What are the latest books? All those relevant information will be given there. Like that, it is possible to develop your application to attract the attention of the relevant users, so that it will be considered to be intelligent and it can be programmed based on the services. If it is a platform type of services, it is possible to program your application also. Considering the characteristics of cloud computing, first thing is scalability. What is scalability? Even if the number of users gets increased from hundreds to thousands, thousands to millions of clients, it should be able to provide the service. See, you would have seen the result publications of +2. On that day, everybody will be eagerly waiting for seeing the marks by entering the register number. It is very difficult to get the access quickly. You will not be able to open it because scalability is not there. Similarly, when you want to book the ticket during the Tatkal time, it is very difficult to capture it. You may not be able to get the access because the scalability is not that much high. So, scalability means the software should be developed in such a way that any number of users may be able to access concurrently underline concurrently, that is known as scalability. Many software applications are not having scalability. Really it is a challenging task, and cloud computing provides solution for that. Google search, how many people are accessing Google search at a time? They are able to provide the scalability. See, commercial applications are providing scalability. It is very difficult. Cloud is helping in developing scalable applications. Then elasticity. What is the meaning of elasticity? You can stretch it or you can shrink it. Whenever demand goes up, you can expand the number of systems. Whenever the demand is less, you can shrink the system. Cloud computing facilitates this elasticity. Say for example, during the daytime, all the employers or all the students will be available in the organization. So, they will be making use of the machine, the server will be loaded. So, you are having maximum demand during working hours. During night time, any education institution is making use of the servers? No, minimum access you will be having it. So, during that time, why should we switch on all the computers? Instead of running 10 computers, you can run in only one computer the essential things, all other 9 computers can be switched off. That is called as elasticity. This can be achieved by using virtualization. You can do live migration of the virtual machines. You can increase the demand by increasing the number of virtual machines. You can decrease the demand by having the reduction of the virtual machines shut down. So, it is possible to have the elasticity based on the demand. Cloud computing is providing that facility also. Then self service provisioning. Suppose if you want to have your own service to be developed, if the platform is available, you can develop your own application. See, using the Google App Engine, you can customize your own website quickly. So, it facilitates you to bring a website, develop your own website, and you can just to provide the self service provisioning. Then on demand resource provisioning. Suddenly I want 100 computers, it is possible. You access the Amazon, they will provide 100 or thousands of computers, because they are having big data centers. They will create virtual machines, 100 nodes if you want, 100 virtual machines will be created, and you will be having the access through your internet. Then you are having number of application programming interfaces. Using those web services, it is possible to develop number of applications. It is possible to have the billing and metering services. Once if you go for cloud, how many hours you have used, what is the cost involved for accessing those things? They will get the money and then they will provide the resources. Otherwise, who will pay for it? So, billing metering services are provided. Supporting business agility. See, there should be some sort of flexibility based on your need. See, you cannot keep any software developed as a static one. Even if you take a small application such as payroll, there will be lot of changes every year. The government may announce new policies for some incentives or for some allowances. Sometimes they can cut down some of the allowances. So, whenever there is a change, automatically the program has to be developed according to the change of policy. Any software which is in use will be having this type of changes. So, you should be having the flexibility to develop the software based on your need. So, it supports business agility also. Then reducing the capital expenditure. The capital expenditure is very much reduced, because you are not going to purchase a machine, just you are going to rent a machine for the time you are going to use. So, that is why it reduces the capital expenditure for that one. So, to summarize, we have defined grid computing as the resources sharing and cloud computing as the services sharing, and we have discussed about the evolution of the cloud computing by considering client server computing, peer to peer computing, distributed computing, collaborative computing, and also cloud computing. And we have discussed about the various definitions of the cloud computing and in what way cloud computing will be helpful for different purposes as well as different applications, and we have compared grid with cloud also, and what are the various top 10 strategic technologies in the recent past 4 years, that also we have discussed, and we have discussed the Gartner's hype cycle for cloud computing, and we mentioned what is not cloud computing and what are the various properties of cloud computing and what are the various characteristics of cloud computing and who are all benefited by the cloud computing and for whom the cloud computing is not suitable, that also we have discussed, and what are the various barriers for the web based applications, that also we have discussed, and what are the essential cloud characteristics, the 5 essential characteristics according to NIST also we have discussed. For the purpose of understanding, the students may be able to answer the following questions: differentiate between grid computing and cloud computing, what are the various characteristics of cloud computing. So, if you are able to answer the questions, you may be able to revise the concepts which we have discussed in this episode. Thank you.